Welcome to the SciFi Pubcast. Come for a drink, but stay for the speculation. Our topic today is whether the Walt Disney Company has been a good force for science fiction or not. Yes, the mouse, friend or foe. Ernie Garcia dropped by midway, and the conversation took off. Spoiler alert, we're Disney fans. So grab a drink, or many for that matter. It's a St. Paddy's Day weekend after all. This is a SciFi Pubcast. Greetings, welcome to the SciFi Pubcast, the podcast that tries to be a pub, and perhaps someday a pub that tries to be a podcast. And as always, we're looking for people to come on the podcast and visit our bar. So if you're passionate about something, you want to be on a podcast, please let us know. We're an open bar. We want to have all types of discourse and interaction here. So there's that. My name is Joel. I'm looking around. I'm kind of like the guy who actually does this publican sci-fi pubcast thing, and I see my two staff members, Carrie and Derek. Hi, Derek.
Hi, everybody.
And hi, Carrie.
What the hell was that?
Yes.
That was my Mickey Mouse voice. Ha
No.
Yes. And you notice I said I went to Derek first before Carrie, and Derek actually answered like that. Yeah, it's going to be a fun show. It definitely will be. It's St. Paddy.
I've been huffing helium.
Oh, yes. Okay, this is our first Disney show theme shows, and I've been drinking heavily because it's St. Paddy's Day weekend, and yes, I know it's the day before and it's early afternoon, but I'm back in my apartment and I'm recording this podcast because that's the way I operate. So it's gonna be a fun show. Let's see, Carrie, how's your day going?
Yes. Oh, not bad. It is now officially spring over here in California, meaning it's now, up over 70 degrees and I can turn the heater off. And apparently, California is now officially out of its drought for the first time in 7 years. That will last until July when the weather gets up over 100 degrees.
Oh, we'll drink to that.
Yeah.
Lovely. And Derek, how's your day going?
Pretty good.
And how's our kitchen doing, Derek?
It's pretty good. You may notice on the bar table there this week's refreshments, I call them Mises Pieces. They are candy-coated pieces of meat. I got them from the remaindered bin at the butcher shop. And don't worry, I asked several times, they are not made out of mice or rats. So it's all good.
Ratatouille, I'm guessing.
Notice but notice the butcher didn't say anything about it being dog or cat.
Well, I didn't ask for that. Sometimes if you don't want to know an answer, you don't ask the question.
That is very true.
Yes, plain possum, great. Yes. Joel's update. Let's see. Did I mention I've had several pints of Guinness right now because it's St. Paddy's Day weekend, and I identify highly with the Irish, with lots of Irish blood. It's my misfortune, really. But saying that, let's see what's up in podcast world. Chris McGuffin. Do you know our friend Chris McGuffin?
Sure.
Yeah, he's rebooted his one of his podcasts, his Chasing Fandom podcast, where he interviews people involved in different fandom communities and just interviews them about their passions. And so he released an episode last week with our former network director, Ernie Garcia. And it's a really interesting interview for about an hour. I highly encourage people to download the episode and listen to it.
It has nothing to do with the shout-outs he gave us at the end of the episode.
No,
right?
Definitely not, because
okay.
They basically said that
it was a good episode. I've missed listening to those guys. So
basically they just say that the Sci-Fi Pubcast, they do whatever the fuck they want, and that's kind of cool. So
they're not wrong.
I don't care. That's lovely. I know.
They're not wrong.
Not wrong. And I might be on the next episode. We'll see. So that'd be interesting. I'm thinking I should actually do this interview honestly and openly and just own everything. So which I try to do, but I think I have the strength to do it perhaps when we record this coming week with Chris.
Nice.
So there's that. Housekeeping. There's absolutely nothing housekeeping because we're not going to ask you for money, our dear customers. This is a free show and will always be because I can't actually make money off the show without declaring it. And it's a conflict of interest with my current employer. Thanks, current employer. Moving on. So we do our beer, drink, restaurant recommendation. And this week, I'm going to plug one of my local establishments in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Éirinn Beer Project, which is a small little establishment, which is literally a 2-minute walk from my apartment in downtown Ottawa. And they showcase all the different microbreweries products in their facilities. So any of the products which we've previously mentioned, it's likely I've sampled them at the Éirinn Beer Project. So they're located at 399 Elgin Street, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. They have a very active Instagram page, so please follow them. Éirinn Beer Project. Yes, that's part of the show which I actually do some restaurant stuff and beer stuff.
Question.
Yes.
Microbrewery, is that like an Ant-Man thing where they shrink the building down?
Yeah, it's quite hoppy, actually, so you have to be careful about that. But let's go with that. Yeah, sure. Yes. And, of course, microbrewery is probably the complete and utter opposite from the topic we're talking about today, because we're talking about the Walt Disney Company.
They're as big as it gets.
There's nothing micro about that.
No, they're not. Disney is just huge. They're just in the top 50th, value companies in the United States. They're insane. And we're talking about,
and they have half the Infinity Gauntlet already filled up. So at least, and we're waiting for the next jewel to be added to the big gold thing.
Yeah, the gauntlet.
Would that be the Fox gem?
Yeah, we're waiting for that to officially, get sucked into the gauntlet.
I think that's March 20th, actually.
It is March 20th. Yeah. Yes, that's in several days. Oh, well, 4 more days because we're recording this podcast on the 16th of March.
In 6 days, the queen from Alien will be a Disney princess.
And just to let you know, because, of course, when this podcast is released, either later today or tomorrow, depending on how much I drink and how bad my hangover is, the current trading value of the Walt Disney Company is at 113.66. It's down slightly at the trading exchange. So there's that. And funny enough, if you look at the Disney stock, it hasn't really done anything big in the last, a couple of years. It's a blue chip, right? So it really varies between the early like $90 level, and they go up almost hitting the 120 and come back down a bit. So there's that. So it's definitely
I don't follow stocks. So.
Yeah, I don't know anything about stocks, but I would imagine that Disney is. I mean, they're just so successful in everything they do. I would think that the stock would just keep going up and up, but I don't know anything about how that works.
No, well, it's overhead. They're so big. It really is, how do they make money, right? And how much debt they have. And they're so in tune with the economy. So if the economy is not doing too well, Disney's not going to do too well. Despite the fact that movies generally make money when people are depressed. But then, again, people are visiting the theme parks. So,
and those ticket prices keep going up. So they're going to make money either way.
Yes. We get late breaking news. We might have another customer just walking through the bar right now.
Oh.
Yes. I'm multitasking. He says he needs a minute. So, yes.
Ooh. Who are we talking to? Who's coming to join us?
There's someone.
It's a surprise.
Yeah, it's a person that lives by you, Carrie, actually.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, we'll see. He needs a minute, so that's good. I want to get...
Okay.
So if this person is going to jump on the call, which I hope he does, he's going to be very insightful about the whole situation in Disneyland and Anaheim in particular, because he lives in Orange County.
Is this another shocking James Gunn return?
I wish, man, but no, it's not. Okay, because we're still on the Disney thing, right? Okay, so what do you guys think about that? Because he's returning to direct Guardians of the Galaxy #3 after being fired several months ago for a tweet that was dated.
I mean, from what I hear, no one else would take the movie, so Disney was kind of over a barrel with that. because I mean, what are they gonna do? Just not do Guardians 3? I don't think that's happening. And plus, I mean, I've said this on other podcasts before. You know, there is a general hypocrisy about the whole thing with James Gunn being fired for tweets that are 10 years old when Disney, until very recently, was still working with Johnny Depp. They let John Lasseter keep his job for however long he got to keep his job until he basically left on his own. And, you know, they keep hiring James Woods, and James Woods has been saying some rather heinous things lately. So
I didn't know that one.
Apparently he's been going off on Captain Marvel over the past week. So
jeez.
Yeah.
It's best just to not know anything at all about creative people. Because the more you learn, the more you don't want to do anything with them.
You know what? It is, but on the other hand, it isn't. A friend of mine posted to Facebook a couple of days ago a segment from the Samantha Bee Show about animators who took down someone in that industry just because there were so many people who said, "Oh, this guy's also harassed me. This guy's harassed me too." So, and they managed to take him. I forget the name of the guy. He probably doesn't deserve to be named anywhere except for industry people. But, you know, they basically took him down for violating union law, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, and let's not forget that Harvey Weinstein had a relationship with Disney for years with Miramax.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to the infographic yet, but is this only current companies, or is this historical as well?
So this infographic, which I sent out to you guys in the show notes, has been around for about a year or two, I think. I saw it when it first hit, when the whole Fox deal was hard and heavy. Now the Fox deal is actually closing. So if you actually Google...
But is this only current as of the creation of the graphic? Is this only current?
Yeah, it's just current.
Or?
Yeah, it's just current companies and things like Hulu. I think Disney owns a 30% share in that. Once this Fox deal goes through, they will own 60%. Double check the numbers, but it's business dealings, and it's just massive. Just massive.
Yeah, no, because I mean that was my question. Because speaking of, you know, Hulu is in here. Hulu is in the graphic.
Yeah.
No, but no, that's when you bring up Weinstein. That was my question.
Oh yeah, right.
Like,
So,
we're missing you know, Hollywood Pictures and Miramax and all that.
Oh, big time. Yeah, and
so
and just okay, because we always try to give credit. So this groovy graphic was created by TitleMax, which is a website, I think, and a company. I don't know much about them, but it's a really cool graphic that shows visually all the ownership rights of Disney and their products and their content. And it's insane, the stuff they own.
Yeah, and like I said, this isn't even talking about some of the stuff that they probably still own but are not active companies.
Right.
You know, like Buena Vista Pictures and Hollywood Pictures and... Well, no one does anything with Miramax anymore. So, yeah.
Okay. Oh wait. Oh no, we had our gift. He left.
He was there.
Okay.
Left.
Oh,
where'd he
God.
go?
He joined. Okay. Wait, he's joining. Okay. This is the first time we actually had some sort of suspense in our sci-fi pubcast.
Or interest.
Interest. Oh, God.
Am I at the right place? I just stopped to get directions. I mean, what is going on here?
Yeah, just stay out of the kitchen because really you don't want to be up. You don't want to be back there.
Our dear customers, welcome Ernie Garcia, our dear friend.
Hey, Ernie.
How you doing, Ernie?
Hey, Ernie.
I'm doing well. I'm trying to settle in because, went out to breakfast, tried to get some shoes for my kid. Like you rush home and I'm like, I got to be on. I want to be on. And so I'm just settling in now. So,
well, it's funny. I spent the morning at a pub because it's St. Paddy's Day weekend. So, it's a pub. It's a sci-fi pubcast. So anything goes, Ernie.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been liking all the craft beers you've been posting lately. That's some good stuff you've been posting.
Yeah, it's not about the product per se, as per the lifestyle and appreciating the fine qualities in life. It's about smaller things, you know. Well,
and not remembering.
Exactly. So,
Ernie, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Ernie, you were on Chris McGuffin's latest show, and we listened to that, and I know Carrie did, and I did, and actually about Derek. Derek probably doesn't care. So,
plate.
But it was great hearing your interview with Chris.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was one of those test runs to see if I'm ready to get back in the arena. So,
yeah. Your voice.
Oh, thank you. I miss you too, Derek. Your weird sense of humor.
Well, if you hang around us long enough, you won't miss it so much.
By the way, I should ask: am I supposed to record anything on my side before we move on?
Absolutely not. Everything's being recorded through the
Sure.
Skype call. So if you drop out, that's going to be on the in the recording. And it's a pub, so background noises, kids crying, me starting my words because I'm drunk. Hey, anything goes, really.
Anything goes. Got it. All right.
So, and of course, we're not a family-friendly podcast per se. Sometimes we do swear. Sometimes we get into adult themes, but we're just trying to be tasteful and, just like a regular bar conversation.
I think the only time you guys are family-friendly is when Derek is not on. So it only makes sense.
Absolutely. Well, Ernie, as you know,
never happens. So
yeah,
that's why they keep me in the back.
Yeah.
Well, Ernie, as you know, we're talking about Disney and their ownerships and what they've done historically about science fiction. And we're just talking, before you joined, we were talking about some of Disney's business interests and some relationships with people that's kind of was questionable. That's one of the rabbit holes we actually dropped into. But now you're on, and I know Carrie was talking about, I think, something last. Carrie, you want to go on with your point?
about what?
Miramax and what?
Oh we were just talking. I was just looking at the infographic you sent us, and it's like, this obviously is only just current and active companies because Miramax and Hollywood Pictures are not listed, or Buena Vista Pictures isn't listed on here. So that was my only point.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to send Ernie that infographic, but that will be right until I actually stop talking. So, Walt Disney World, it's been around for a long time. It's buying Fox as of in a couple of days' time on March 20th, when the deal is going to go through. It's huge. It's massive. Mm-hmm. Ernie, you live in Orange County. Anything locally you can report?
Locally, yeah. I mean, Galaxy's Edge, the new Star Wars Land park. You can see it from the parking lot, or even just driving by on the street, which is known as Disney Way, is really starting to rear its head around, and it's already looking amazing. They've been releasing drone footage recently as well.
I just saw that yesterday. It looked amazing.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, the only heartbreaking thing, and I jokingly posted it on Twitter, that I will be actively avoiding going to Disneyland specifically on May 31st, which is the day that they're opening, which I think is, odd because they are opening the park, the land itself, but not everything is going to be open. I don't know if you guys have looked into it, but the park itself is not going to have the new ride available, which is known as Rise of the Resistance, which is supposed to be kind of interactive. I'm not sure if they're doing 3D kind of things with it, but I remember even when they were building the structure, I could see them welding steel together to make the big AT-ATs, and you're actually going to travel under and in between these AT-ATs. So the thought of this park and what they're doing with it sounds amazing. I think they kind of got their note from Universal Studios and what they did with the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. But it's surprising to me how fast that park went up, and just the progress they made on it. And it's heartbreaking, as I was saying in the beginning, because this place is going to be worse than Black Friday. You're going to get trampled. Only
the
want
first
this
year or two.
Oh, it's going to be more than that. Believe me. with what Star Wars has been doing lately with their marketing, I mean, I can't go through an aisle at Target without seeing something Star Wars. I see Star Wars chips, Star Wars water bottles, you name it. I mean, their marketing is everywhere. And so, I mean, even kind of getting in the new generation to kind of get involved. My little son has been playing with my Kylo Ren lightsaber. So I'm already kind of getting into his head a little bit about this beautiful galaxy that we love. But it would be neat to experience that park without it being so congested. You know what I mean? And kind of get the full effect.
Yeah, I have some friends planning on coming into town in like November specifically to go to the parks. I'm like, okay, so you want to plan on going sometime during the week when most people are when most kids are in school. Usually it's like, Wednesday or Thursday is like the best day to go because the park is usually not as crowded, but who knows? No.
Well, even I read that for Disneyland, you actually have to get a reservation just to enter the land at first. They're not going to do that at Orlando, but in Anaheim, you need to get a pass just to walk into it. It's going to be that bad.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all.
I have more to report on that specifically, Derek. I do have a friend who you will talk about it in a minute, but he is very close with Disneyland, and he actually works for the company. He was stating to me that the cheapest hotel that the Disneyland Resort offers is known as Paradise Pier. Usually runs about $200, which is still something that's still kind of pricey, but it has the Disney name. Mm-hmm. But it's their cheaper, lower end hotel. That hotel is going for $1,000 a night on that opening weekend.
Wow.
And another thing too is that those people that are actually booking the hotels, getting ready to be sent or go into the land to experience it, only get a reservation, one reservation. So what that means is if you're staying there a week, you're only getting one reservation, which means you only get to experience the park one of those days if you're staying there a full week. And the estimation is that it's probably going to be about a 3-hour window. There's been no word on that, but that's the speculation recently.
Wow.
But yeah, $1,000 for their cheapest hotel and then one reservation, which is completely blows my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think my response to you about on Twitter was, they're opening the park on like the last day, the first Friday of summer vacation for like half the schools in Southern California. So, not that the kids are going to be able to go on the 31st anyway, but yeah. Well, I will be staying at home watching Good Omens because that also drops on the 31st.
The Disneyland Resort is not the Disney World Resort. It's completely different. It is not as big, and so it's really crowded. And then you have the crowds, such as myself. I'm one of those guilty parties that feels like that park is mine. Because I grew up around it. I've been going to it since I was a kid. But it's so small compared to the property in Florida that there used to be off seasons where you can go to a certain month to Disneyland and experience a lot more things, and it wouldn't be so packed. But that is like completely out the window. There's no more off seasons, and the construction that they have going on there, and not just in Galaxy's Edge, the park itself, the castle, which is the main photo op for the park, is all boarded up and has wallpaper all over it because apparently there was some damage done to the roof when they had the Disney's 60th anniversary. They put these diamond studded roofs on the little cone areas, and apparently they couldn't get it off, and it damaged some of the roof, so they have to reconstruct all that. So that's just one part of the park. Then you have what's going on in the downtown Disney area, which is the shopping area and the area where they want to bring in more people. They ended up closing tons of businesses. One part of the park, the shopping area was going to be a brand new hotel. And that was a whole nother thing as well with the city of Anaheim, where they were going to build this new hotel and bring in more jobs. And it was, looking good until Disney decided to move the hotel from where they originally were planning to build it to another area. and then Anaheim kind of stepped in and decided not to do that. So there's all these new things coming into the shopping area, into Disneyland, and then now we also have the park across from that park, which is building the whole new Marvel land. So I mean, they are really ramping up the dollar bills, spending them and getting ready to bring in the Brinks trucks per se. So I mean, there is so much going on, and I'm sorry, Joel. I'm.
Oh no, go for it. This is great. This is great.
Ernie, I actually love Disney Park talk, so this is like my favorite episode ever already. And the other thing is, all my news is from Orlando, so I actually don't hear as much from the Anaheim side.
No, seriously, Ernie, to Ernie's point, like we used to go a group of us, in the middle of January. My mom would just take us out of school and we'd all go in like the middle, like a Wednesday in the middle of January, because it was too freaking cold for, most people to be in the park. And, if you're being in Disneyland in the rain is not always fun, but at least there's no lines, or at least there wasn't any lines. I don't know. I haven't been there in such a long time. I probably have to sell a limb to even be able to afford it.
And Derek, by the way, I should throw out this website that you should look at that I always go to. It's my go-to website. It's called micechat.com. And they literally cover anything that changes in the park. So if, let's say, a light post was painted blue to green, they cover that. And they cover even the Florida park as well. So, I mean, they cover all of them, I should say, even the ones in Japan, Shanghai, you name it. Micechat.com. Check it out.
Yeah, my Facebook page is like 75% Disney World groups and news items. I need to read about the other parks too.
So, Ernie, I think at this point I should let you know that I think I have a man crush on you right now.
Well, I have a man crush on you because you drink lots of beer, and that's sexy.
There you go. Hey, just like
so cute.
So I do have a question. So for our listeners' sake and for my own sake, right? Galaxy's Edge is being built in Disneyland. Is that right?
And Florida as well.
There's
the one that's actually built,
but not California Adventure. So it's going to be in Disneyland proper, not the park across the street.
Disneyland proper. That's correct.
Right.
Yes.
Whereas you mentioned Marvel Land, that's going to be happening in California Land.
Only California, because Disney is not allowed to build Marvel parks on the east side of the Mississippi because of the Universal Studios deal. So they can build Marvel anything in California and in Japan and the rest of the world, but they are not allowed to build Marvel parks on the East Coast. Now, the asterisk to that is they're building a Guardians of the Galaxy coaster in Epcot, but that's because Guardians was a property that was licensed after that sell in the 90s. So they're allowed to do anything with the Guardians, but they can't do like Iron Man or the Avengers.
Or Hulk, which they have a Hulk coaster in Universal.
Well, Hulk is still owned by Universal technically, which is why you don't see anyone outside of the actual Hulk in any of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, well, it's really weird. They have the distribution rights to a Hulk feature movie, but if the Hulk is only the guest star in like Thor Ragnarok or the Avengers, then Universal does not get rights to it. That's why they'll never do a Hulk solo movie again.
Right. I love the rabbit hole. It's just to clarify. Sorry, Carrie.
Well, no, I just find it interesting that they managed to get Ross into Civil War and Avengers, Infinity War, and we still haven't seen anyone else out of the Hulk side of the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for that Betty Ross solo movie.
God, that makes me angry. I'm feeling very angry right now. No.
I had to watch the Hulk last night for another podcast, so it's kind of fresh in my mind.
All right.
Which one though? The Ang Lee one or the
Ang Lee one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. Okay.
I actually don't hate it.
I mean, it was I did love the fact that he made like comic book panels happening on screen. That part I thought was really cool, but aside from that,
Yeah.
Well, okay, so going back about 10 minutes ago, so in California Adventure at Disneyland, that's where they're going to build the new Marvel stuff? Is that right?
That's right.
There's going to be a Spider-Man ride and Iron Man ride.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And one asterisk to what Ernie said earlier. When Galaxy's Edge first opens in the initial phase, the Rise of the Resistance ride will not be open. However, the Falcon Simulator ride will be open. So one of the two rides will be open, but not the really big cool one. Because the Falcon one, it's going to be a cool little simulator ride, which will be great. But I am really excited about the Resistance one because it is going to be huge and massive. Like you said, there's going to be life-sized AT&Ts that you drive under, and it's basically going to be like 5 different rides in one. There's going to be some simulator screen parts. There's going to be some moving animatronic dark ride parts. There's going to be a short roller coaster part. It is going to be amazing.
Yeah, but will the bar be open?
There will be a bar.
Yes,
I know.
The cantina.
Yeah, they have like 10 specialty drinks.
No, we were just trying to make sure it's going to be open when
that will be open at open. All of the gift shops and the restaurants will be open when they first open.
I'm considering flying down to Orlando in sometime in the fall just to check out the new Galaxy Edge. That's probably maybe my next trip. We'll see.
Well, Orlando doesn't open until I believe the last day of August.
Yeah,
so it would still be pretty bad by then.
Yeah, but we'll see. I got to check it out. And $1,000 for a month, like for a day in a hotel. Yeah, that's really pricey. If I ever get married, that's kind of like how much I want to spend for a night in a hotel. But we'll see.
I thought you were going to say the wedding.
In the hotel room itself. That's pretty funny, actually.
Just get married in the room.
Married online.
Okay, guys, I love Disney. I think my brother owns stocks in Disney, so full disclosure on that one. And I might be.
Well, I'm pretty sure my parents still do. So
yeah, and yeah, exactly. And I might actually buy some Disney stocks if I ever get into the stock market, which may happen this year, depending on what's happening with my financial situation with work. But we'll see. Having said that, so we have Walt Disney Company. It's been around for 110 years. Actually, I'm sorry, it's about 100 years now, right? It was founded when in the 20s? Let me look this up. 1920. 29.
Or 28. Yeah.
Okay, so
90 years.
Yeah, 90 years. So we always talk about science fiction because that's kind of like what our pub's all about. Guys, let me ask you this. Do you think the Walt Disney Company has been good for science fiction?
I think so.
Why?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at your list here, Joel. I mean, you have 20,000. The only one I don't see on here, Joel, is the Absent-Minded Professor.
Oh, right.
And the unofficial remake, Flubber.
And sorry, and I forgive me because it's been probably never when the last time I saw that movie. But so, what's the science fiction angle? Like, what technical thing that happened to?
Well, the absent-minded he comes up with a substance that is like he comes up with the substance Flubber, which basically is like it perpetual. It does it.
All right. It does
I swear, you are the one that's been drinking today, Joel, not me.
Yeah. Oh, Eddie Murphy did the remake, right? Was it Eddie Murphy in the remake?
No, Robin Williams.
Okay. Flub. I saw that. I didn't include it on my list because I didn't think it was science fiction. It was more something stupid. Which I say with the greatest with respect. Robin Williams was the remake.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, they did several sequels to the original movie. I think Son of Flubber was one of my favorites out of that series when they first did the movie series.
Okay, interesting. How about you, Derek? What do you think? Disney, pro or con for science fiction?
Oh, absolutely pro. I mean, even ignoring the Marvel and the Star Wars buys later, there's been plenty of one I didn't notice that was not on your list that I'm playing on mute right now is one of my childhood favorites, Atlantis: The Lost Empire from 2001.
Oh yeah, that one. That one's not. Oh yes, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I love that movie.
One. Yeah,
it did not do well financially, but it is amazing. And Mike Mignola did the art designs, the artist of Hellboy, and it just looks great and it's fun and it's got a great story. And I'm such a sucker for those kind of early 1900s Indiana Jones styles, steampunk fantasy adventure stories. It's just classic.
Okay.
Right.
And another great one from that era was Treasure Planet, which was another box office bomb. But that one was a lot of fun, too. It was basically a sci-fi version of Treasure Island with spaceships instead of pirate ships.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad
I finally saw that a few months ago, and it was really good.
Well, Dirk, I'm glad you got that off your chest. Treasure chest. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Bad Joel. Bad Joel.
Okay. Okay. Ernie, what's your take, man? Disney pro con for science fiction as a genre?
Pro with an asterisk.
I'm the same way, actually.
that.
I'm the same way, but go ahead. I want to hear. Before I tell you my views, what do you think?
Okay, so I say it's a pro now. And kind of, even just looking at your list, I find it really interesting because with respect to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, anything after that was pretty crappy. And then right before they actually hit their groove, there was a movie known as The Black Hole, which you have on your list here.
Oh, I love that movie.
Disney invested so much money into that
oh,
movie,
God,
hoping that was going to be the new thing. And
wow.
it bombed. And it is. I actually hate the movie, but I don't have any ties to it as well. So that might be a thing. And it wasn't really until after Star Wars came out and even Tron, where they really started to hit the groove on the science fiction. So I think even from the 80s on, I think it was a pro. Some of these movies I grew up with, Flight of the Navigator, The Rocketeer, stuff like that, that all sings to me. It's like beautiful opera. Now, speaking in the park wise, it's funny because Tomorrowland has always kind of been an interesting park.
Yes.
With
That was my favorite park.
With respect to Walt Disney, his idea for that park is what's making that park not do so well. And the reason why is because technology is always changing. And Disneyland itself really had a lot of trouble before they actually installed Star Tours. Star Tours actually saved the park and made it more teen friendly, quote unquote. Because Disneyland before that was looked at as a kiddie park. And so it wasn't until the investment into Star Wars that really kind of set it off. But, for me, I always credit Tron, and what it did for movies. And from there on, I feel like Disney has definitely hit some home runs. They've struck out, yes, but they've done some great things since then.
Well, prior to the installation of Star Tours, though, I managed to get on Journey Through Inner Space once before it went out and became Star Tours. But that was a really cool ride where basically you got shrunk down microscopically and you went through the body and all the organs and stuff, and it was I thought it was a really cool trippy ride, and I only remember being able to go on it once or twice before it became Star Tours.
Interesting.
I think the best ride at Tomorrowland was always Rocket Rods. Did anybody get that joke?
No.
The People Mover was briefly repurposed to be a quote-unquote thrill ride called Rocket Rods. And what they would do is for the few straight portions of the track, it would launch forward at speed. But the problem was they were slapping a high-speed ride onto an old slow-speed system, and it completely destroyed the system, and it broke, and it I think it closed after like months or a year. And to this day, I mean, you guys would know this better than me, but to this day, Rocket Rods is still just sitting there over your heads in Tomorrowland, dead and useless.
Well, yeah, the People Mover track is still there.
Yeah.
And stuff. I think they would have to close down the entire land, I think, to do a full remodel more than they did the last time they updated it to get rid of that track.
Yeah. So the Rocket Rods, happened in the 90s, and it was one of those kind of turning points for Disney where they try to throw in more thrill rides into the park. And Rocket Rods, needless to say, was terrible. Everybody will tell you that it's terrible. You can actually watch a clip of YouTube and see that there's absolutely nothing going on the ride except that little certain areas it would go fast. But that that ride also doesn't get enough credit for opening a fun ride that's in the Florida part, which is known as Test Track. Rocket Rods is kind of what inspired that. And obviously they've learned from their mistakes and not put it on an old, slow moving system. The stress of the fast moving ride really damaged a lot of the structure and a lot of the pillars that were holding it up, which is why they kind of stopped it right away. But yeah, that Rocket Rods is terrible, but it definitely did some future stuff for the Disneyland parks.
Test Track is a great ride, and it's weird because if you go on it now, it's like 50% of a Tron ride. Like all the visuals look like they're straight out of Tron because it's all black with neon highlights, and it shows like futuristic cities and stuff. But the story of the ride has absolutely nothing to do with Tron. It's they started to do it, and then when Tron Legacy bombed, they kind of walked it back. But
the People Mover in Anaheim used to have a section where you would kind of go through the Tron laser and be in the Tron verse.
I'm going to stop you right there, Carrie.
What
you're saying it so melancholy. It was the most beautiful part of the ride.
It was.
I mean, it was amazing.
I actually didn't know that.
It was actually the most fun part of the ride, except for the part where, the section of the ride that goes through Star Tours, and you got to hear R2 and 3PO arguing without having.
Yes, originally it went through the Star Tours area. Yeah, so it originally went through the Star Tours area into the Space Mountain area. Then it went through near the Matterhorn area, and then finally when it went into where the Buzz Astro Blasters ride is at, that whole little section was all computer graphic projection of Tron. So you were racing against the Tron bikes, and that for me as a kid who loved Tron, I love that moment.
This is amazing. I just remember in the early 80s and mid 80s, there was an arcade right connected to Space Mountain in Walt Disney World, which my brother spent a lot of time in, and me too, because my brother was there. And that was on like several different trips over several years going down to Disney World.
Unless I'm wrong, the arcade is still in Tomorrowland over in Anaheim.
Oh yeah? Okay.
At least it was there the last time I was there, but I haven't been since like 2000.
Oh yeah, the one in Lona Space Mountain. It's just a gift shop now, but you get your pennies crushed and all that good stuff still.
Yep.
But back in the 80s, it was the heyday for video games.
Okay.
Oh, shut
I
up,
thought you said something else.
Shut up, Derek.
The arcade is actually one of the other reasons why Star Wars became such a big thing in my life. I would always play the little Star Wars arcade there that they had. That it was the X-Wing shooter game that they had.
Oh yeah, love that.
Which basically looked like frames, just like neon frames.
Oh, I love that.
That game.
Oh, that was I used to play that in one of the pizza places near my house. So yeah.
Every time I went there, I would play that game. I don't know how much money I spent there, but I probably could buy a house. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, we can't afford to buy houses over here in California. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
nope, can't.
Especially when
we're in California, we can't afford shit.
Oh wow.
Sorry, I'm not bitter.
It happens. I'm still on my self-help little shtick right now, so we'll talk offline, Carrie. Okay? Okay. Here's my views about whether Disney has been great for science fiction or not, or good for science fiction. I think Disney excels at the inner kids within all of us, our childhood experiences, but giving us things to imagine and believe in. And I'm one of them. I wear that on my sleeve. I love Disney for that. When it comes to hardcore science fiction, I think Disney struggles because even the most edgy things they do is still family friendly. So full points for Tron. I think Tron was amazing. The Black Hole.
Black Hole was pretty creepy. I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that as a kid, and Maximilian freaked me out.
Oh yeah, but it was a long movie. It's just because it was the 70s, so the pacing wasn't great. I just saw a 3-minute little trailer before I actually started recording today with this podcast, and it's funky. But it was from 1979, and we're trying to copy what New Hope did, and it's just I love the spacecraft but I can see how it bombed big time. So full points on that. But like 20,000 Leagues on the Sea, so going back 20 years previously, that was amazing. So that's from 1954. So it's how we think about science fiction. Does it have to be space, or is it just technological? It's stuff like that which I love. And I think Disney does a great job for that. But it's not cyberpunk. It's not hardcore, screw you up. This science, technology can do bad things to you. It's all about inspiration. And I buy into this. I think Disney is great. This is where Disney does well.
Well, I don't know, Joel. Tron taught us never to argue with a computer.
Yeah, I always argue with a computer, but still.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. But
at least don't argue with a computer that has access to a laser.
Yeah. But if you want to look at more of less famous Disney films that's been released, that's you probably never heard of, or you don't want to hear of, like Moon Pilot from 1962. How about The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes from 1969? Yeah, that's a real film.
I think I remember seeing that.
I know apparently stars a very young Kurt Russell. Is that right?
Kurt Russell was in everything.
Of course.
Disney. Yeah. In like the 60s and 70s. Cat from Outer Space, I remember seeing. I've seen that several times.
It's a Cat's Meow. No, 1978. 1978, right? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, great kids movie, and all the sequels. Oh, the one sequel, Honey, I Blew Up the Kids from 92. You mentioned Treasure Planet from 2002, Derek. Great. I think the animation stuff, The Incredibles, I think that's great. But we're getting into the whole superhero movies, right? And I think Disney does superhero movies well. And I know Marvel does extremely well. But is that the certain subgenre of science fiction? No, it's its own genre. It's superhero movies. And I like that. I love that. So I think Disney does things well, but I don't think it's going to make the next Matrix anytime soon.
Can I briefly talk about Tomorrowland?
But for sure.
Because Tomorrowland had so much promise to be an amazing science fiction film. And even I think some of the scenes in the movie are beautiful. Like they sing to me as far as like that old school 1960s sci-fi kind of feel on some of the scenes. But the movie itself just I don't think held up. And I kind of agree with Joel's point that they really have failed at hardcore science fiction, and I think Tomorrowland was one of those glaring mistakes. I think the message behind the movie was beautiful. The promise of tomorrow and what we can do today to bring that promise of tomorrow. And what they did with the film, it just as a whole didn't hold up. But I do love watching some of those scenes because it's pretty amazing. But yeah, I completely agree with you, Joel.
Yeah, I love Tomorrowland because of the nostalgia factor, right? It brings us back to our childhood and trying to find our inner child, which the older you get, the more important that is actually, because it takes you down to your base. You're grounded. You have to be grounded to be a well-rounded person, to actually succeed in life and to be happy in life. And a lot of issues which adults struggles with, well, they were created when you're a kid. Because being a kid is the influential time in your life. And I think Disney does a great job for that. Like, I took my cousins to Disneyland last year. Why? Because I want them to have this mentality, this hope, the ability to dream, the ability to know that there's more to life than just the mundane. I love that. And going back to Tomorrowland, it's like, yeah, the movie could have been better, but it's more nostalgic. And I think where Disney kind of falls down is it's not pushing boundaries, because that's risky. I think Disney always tries to play it safe. And thank God.
I would argue that Disney is ultimately a family children's industry. So they're not interested in making some kind of, edgy, hard sci-fi story. They're just trying to make, all ages entertainment.
Yeah,
I mean, so they definitely fail at doing that, but I don't think they're trying to do that.
Well, I think they're just but that may change with the whole streaming thing with Disney. Was it Disney Plus, right? Mm-hmm. The Mandalorian, all this. I can't say the word. Come on, make fun of me. Of Star Wars. Thank you. It's all about this stuff. So they might get more edgy because you need to pump up more content.
Well, yeah, Star Wars is definitely going to be more PG-13 than PG.
Yeah. But all the Star Wars
in terms of like these older movies, I would say that it was never their intention to make something dark and serious.
No, it's not, because they don't do it well. Miramax was great for dramas, but they're not a science fiction production company generally.
Well, and as much as I love the dark days of Disney, people, Disney went dark, and people lost their shit. Some people did anyway. The people who apparently mattered. I happen to love stuff like the Witch Mountain movies and the Black Cauldron and stuff like that. But not everyone was a fan.
Right. I'm still going to buy Disney stock this year if I can afford it, if I get in the stock market. And it's not because I think that stock is going to go up. I think it's just going to be a nice place to park your money and get dividends, because Disney is going to be around for a very long time. And then we have the question about the whole Fox buy. How is that going to affect things?
As I said before, now the queen from Alien will be a Disney princess. So
no, and that, talking about hardcore science fiction, yeah, Alien and Aliens, yeah, there we go. But you got stuff like Deadpool and X-Men, guys. You know the stuff better than I do. It's like, are we gonna have a Deadpool ride? Imagine, it's an X-rated ride at Disneyland. I don't see it.
I don't think there's going to be a Deadpool ride. However, they are talking about Deadpool 3 still going forward. And I know that's been a bone of contention with people about whether or not Disney is going to continue to let Marvel make R-rated or more mature movies. And my argument is, the studio, the company that gave us stuff like Black Hole, Tombstone, et cetera, should be able to find a way to do that. Whether they let Fox Studios do it or something else.
Yeah, they'll definitely make a Deadpool 3 because it's a proven successful property, and it's continuing something that's already existing. And they're certainly not going to make an R-rated Black Widow movie or anything like that, but Deadpool is its own, special little thing in its own little corner. And
people will continue to ignore the parental advisories for Deadpool 3. And,
Yeah, fantastic. I love that.
The one thing I will say too, I wonder, and this is kind of old school Disney, like 80s Disney, but remember they used to do a lot of movies through Touchstone Pictures, and that was like all the hardcore stuff.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Touchstone gave us, the
Black Hole.
Black Hole. No, Black Hole was Buena Vista Pictures. Touchstone gave us Nightmare Before Christmas. They gave us Tombstone.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, Splash. All these movies that couldn't have been released under the Disney label got released under Touchstone or Hollywood Pictures.
I wonder if they would go back to something like that, though. But it doesn't seem like they would, because Disney itself has even become bigger in the last 20 years than I even ever imagined. You know what I mean?
And once Disney Plus launches, they're just going to get even bigger. I basically think that's going to overtake Netflix, because it's the only place you're going to be able to get new Star Wars, new Disney animation, new Pixar,
or access to anything that's in the vault, because
every Disney movie is going to be on it. I can only assume every Disney TV show from all the past. It's and then the entire Fox catalog as well. That is going to be such a huge thing. That is just going to completely revolutionize the media market.
Exactly.
Do you think we might get an uncut version of the original Star Wars? Like the not George Lucas edited one?
You mean the theatrical release?
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't cost them anything to put it up.
Yep.
I will. You will pry that DVD out of my cold dead hands. But as far as the streaming service, maybe eventually.
Well, I do know that they don't have the rights to New Hope right away. That still rests with. Oh no, wait, but they're buying Fox. Never mind.
Yeah. So that's part of the deal. So it's not all Fox. There's like the news division of Fox is going to be another company which is not controlled by Disney, thankfully.
Also the ESPN one too, I think.
Yeah. So there's a lot of side deals which, as a fandom podcast, we don't talk about, like sports, business interests, property interests, studio rental fees, all that good stuff. But it's a huge deal, nevertheless.
Yeah.
And that raises the question, guys. Do you think with Disney as the overarching company, has it become too large? Do you think it's going to stifle creativity and the artistic being on edge, and what artists do is basically question their existence?
Well, monopolies will always lessen innovation and competition, but I'm not personally bothered by it. I mean, everything Disney has been making thus far has just been incredible, and they've shown that they can let companies like Pixar and Marvel exist on their own and do their own thing and excel in the ways that they know how to excel without interference. So I'm not bothered.
Yeah, but they can drive wages down. That's going to send artists somewhere else. Since they control the means of distribution. That sounds really Marxist. I don't mean it to be Marxist.
No. You have a point. I mean, I see articles every day about how people in Anaheim can't afford to live in Anaheim, or the homeless population is exploding in Anaheim because people can't afford to live there. So I mean that's just the everyday life part of the problem, not the creativity part of the problem. So
yeah. So what is it? It goes from like 6 major studios or 5 major studios down one when Disney takes over Fox. So if you want to be in the major studio game, great. But I always look at the more independent films and how are they going to produce and get bigger and all that. So there's something I can see. It's like I don't live in a world where everything is 100% all the time. So I think Disney has done great for science fiction. But I also can see how it can do better, and I can see how it actually intentionally limits itself because it's a corporation and it cares about making money, which is okay. Whereas it cares less about making a statement. So I can see that, and I really think that in terms of art and hardcore science fiction, it's really going to be more the independent people that's going to be on the cutting edge and push that frontier forward as opposed to the big players. And Disney's just one of the big players. So.
That's true.
At the same time, they're building Star Wars theme parks. That's awesome. Okay, that's really awesome. And Marvel. It's like, oh my God. It's like, just the imagination, all the stuff they're spending money. I respect that. I respect when corporations spend money. Amazing. Like Space Mountain, Galaxy's Edge, Star Tours, Epcot. We haven't talked about Epcot. It's founded in 1982. That damn park is it's part of me because I've been there so many times as a kid, and the whole vision of the future of being able to use science to better our lives. Wow, I love that. It was all about the science, despite the fact that I'm terrible at science and I'm a liberal arts grad and all that.
Well, Epcot is more about IP now, but yes, it was initially about science and education.
Yeah. Hey, what's this one ride in Epcot where you're in the rocket and it's like they put G-forces on you?
Mission Space.
Oh, your Mission Space?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a flight simulator with a movie of going to Mars.
Right.
Or Earth if you choose the non-spinning version, which I always do because I'm a coward.
Right. See, I usually just end up in I know the France place, pavilion, and drink wine and all that good stuff. So, that British pub they have. So, yeah.
And we have to throw
they're building a Ratatouille ride in France right now.
Oh, really?
They are. That's right.
It's gonna be great.
Or what's it called? Spaceship Earth also is just a classic. I love that ride.
It's just how people from the 1970s and 80s and it's, in a way they tipped their hat in the 1950s looked at the world versus living in 2019. I just love that. That's the historian in me, seeing how people changed their perspectives based on time. Amazing.
Oh, speaking of Spaceship Earth and rocket rods, for a brief period in the late 90s, they planned to remake Spaceship Earth into a roller coaster, and they're going to do the same thing that they did with rocket rods. They're going to use the existing track lines and just make it into a fast-moving roller coaster in that tiny little ball.
Oh, God, that'd be horrible. That'd be like Space Mountain, but just no.
Yeah.
Space Mountain 2.
Oh, God.
Space Mountain Micro.
So I think we all had our viewpoints addressed about what we think of Disney and whether it's beneficial or good for science fiction. So at the end of our discussion, are you guys going to run out and buy Disney stock if you could afford it?
My 403B may have Disney stock for all I know. That's about all I can say.
I actually just did my taxes, and apparently I sold Disney stock this year. I didn't even know.
There you go. Wow.
Lovely.
Frightening.
And I was like, why did I sell it? It's 2019. This is their year.
Right. So if Disney goes out and buys, say, DC Comics, do you think that would be a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, they'd have to buy Warner Brothers. Buy DC Comics.
Or they could just
DC is owned by Warner Brothers.
Right. So Disney, like anything, they can just sell the unit of business, right? So they can break it off and sell it separately. The reason why I asked that question is
Warner Brothers going to do that anytime soon.
Yeah, because it's not a TV channel, right? So it's not covered by anti-monopoly regulations in the States.
But it's still a comic book company,
right? So
that could be a monopoly.
Yeah, but is it governed by statute? And I don't think it is. It's just
I
think there's anti-monopoly laws against any kind of corporation.
Yeah, but the current powers that be aren't really enforcing those laws at the moment. So who knows?
Yeah, it's like you can probably corner the market on writing romance books, for instance, right? You have romance publishers out there. So it's interesting because I'm showing is that when do we get a point where these companies are so large that they control everything? And that's that's my fear, right? So
that's what all those
we are not
stories are for.
We are not in the realm of Demolition Man just yet.
Good to
Only
hear.
Taco Bells exist.
Yeah.
God.
And it's not currently possible for Schwarzenegger to become president, so that's not even going to happen.
I'm just happy that National Geographic is going to be part of Disney and it's no longer owned by Murdoch, right? So I'm just quite happy. I love National Geographic, but I just don't like it being owned by Fox.
That's going to be on Disney Plus too.
There you go.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. So any last thoughts about Walt Disney Company, guys?
Well, I will say that you were lamenting the fact that good sci-fi won't be able to be made if Disney, slowly monopolizes everything. The one thing I'll always point out is that it costs nothing for someone to write a science fiction story and publish it as a book, so that will always exist.
Excellent. Good point, Dirk. Harry, last thoughts?
No, I'm looking forward to whatever it is Disney decides to do, as long as it's not talking about, turning, historical landmarks into theme parks like they were talking about when Hunchback of Notre Dame was released.
Oh, they should build a roller coaster on Mount Rushmore. That'd be awesome.
No.
Talking about going over the cliff. Ugh.
Ooh, or the Eiffel Tower. You could build the track right into the side of it.
No, they already tried to buy the land next to Notre Dame for during the promotional marketing for Hunchback. So, and that didn't go over well. I know my best friend still hasn't forgiven them for that.
Oh wow. Ernie, last thoughts?
I mean, Disney itself as a company is always been something that's been in my life. Mickey's just celebrated his 90th birthday recently as well. As a company, they do what they need to do, and that's get in our heads as kids. Because I can't remember a day where I didn't love going to Disneyland. I always loved watching the movies as a kid as well. I don't know if they can expand further than buying Fox, though. But I think Disney itself for science fiction, who knows where they're going to go from here? It seems like they're focusing more on the Marvel thing, the superhero thing. But with the acquisition of Fox and even what they're doing with Star Wars. And yes, I put Star Wars in the sci-fi category, even though it is more of a space opera. But Disney itself has done some amazing things, and I can't wait to see what they do with technology, movies, the parks, and I guess the sky's the limit for them. And I can't wait to see what they do.
I just wish they do some more documentary work because I want Disney to do a documentary on Derek's Kitchen. That'd be great.
It's like a whole season of Hoarders. So.
Yeah, exactly. Be amazing.
Joel, you would probably get arrested as well if they actually did a documentary of that, though.
And some parallel universe, perhaps. But yeah. Guys, it's been a great conversation. I think at the end of the day, we're all in agreement that Disney is a friend to science fiction and not a foe to science fiction. And I can't wait to check out Galaxy Edge and spend more of my money on buying Disney stuff. And I actually put my money where my mouth is because all my cousins are having kids right now. And I at Christmas time, I sent them all Disney gift certificates or Disney cards. I think they call it now, right? So, So there's that. Yeah.
Good uncle.
Yeah, yes. Good. I know. Not really uncle, more like a cousin. I have a small
like
family.
Second cousin, right?
Yeah, something. Third remove. Yeah, something stupid like that. But but the important thing with Disney is it's about the kids. So for every movie that's like John Carter, there's something else that just redeems that. And good on them. So that's my takeaway. And I suppose we have to close the doors to our fine establishment so that I can go back to having more pints of Guinness because it's the St. Paddy's Day weekend. And I'm letting my Irish show. So our Twitter address is at SciFi Pubcast. It's managed by me. We have our Facebook page, which is managed by Derek. Derek, you're doing a great job on that, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes. Instagram. So we do have an Instagram account. It's more focused on bear food or anything bar pub related. That's also managed by myself. If you have any questions or concerns or inputs or whatever, please hit us up on social media, or you can send us an email at management@scifipubcast.space. And also, I know every podcast says this, but it's actually quite important. If you feel like it, please leave us a positive Apple Podcast review. It helps others find the show. It's important because of the way podcasters and talking about distribution of content is managed. Yeah, so there's always that. Carrie, what's your Twitter address?
My Twitter handle is Carrie Blackfire42. That's KERI Blackfire42.
And Derek, what's yours?
I'm at Derek J. Beebe, and Tron Legacy was amazing.
Agreed.
Can't wait for the video game. Oh, wait. Okay, Ernie, what's your Twitter address?
It's at Randall_Graham. Oh, wait, that's not me. You can find me. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Your Buddy Ernie. And also be on the lookout. My new podcast is coming out soon. I don't know when you're releasing this episode, Joel, but from the day we're recording, it should be out in about 2 weeks. It's called Talking Earnestly, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, and I can't wait for that.
Also, all of us should be ashamed of ourselves because we never talked about the Sci-Fi Diner. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for having me.
Oh, hey, I was at the Sci-Fi Diner. It was pretty good. It shows like movies from the 1950s in Disneyland. Definitely a plus. Yes. And by the way, Ernie has an Instagram account that does a lot of cool stuff with his new podcast project, and it looks really good. And just to let people know, Ernie, so what's the nature of your podcast? I understand it's more of a discussion, talking, casual type podcast. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's just honestly casual conversation. There's no more just nerd stuff attached to it. And basically,
it's a bad thing.
And kind of what happened last year, it's a way for me to kind of get open and honest and just kind of speak about what's happening in my life. And that way I can kind of release all the demons that maybe have been in my head for a little bit, or even just talk about something frustrating that happened that day or something funny. So it's literally going to be a podcast on life, and I can't wait to release it.
So it's not going to be about the Ernest Goes to Camp movie series?
Oh, I'm going to kill you, Derek.
Get in line, Ernie.
That's fantastic. I can't wait.
Hey, I still didn't get my directions. Am I in the right spot? No, thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're always welcome to come on the show. We'll take anyone. You know that. We love you, Ernie. So it's closing time. Our dear customers, please make it home safe. We'll see you next time. Bye.
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 See you later.
Oh, God.
Music provided courtesy of Logan Rathbone. Podcast logo by Éirinn. Copyrighted Joe Welch. Listen responsibly. and we can't wait for your next visit to our fine establishment. Cheers.